I'm a stickler when it comes to the superstar. I don't think
yes,
that they're. I think that it's like very, very rare air, and so there's a whole bunch of players that are knocking on the door of superstardom. But to me, you have to check off the box of not only your play, which I think, by the way, Jayson, that's where it comes from. That's when you started to get this sentiment. It's because you are playing, sir, like a superstar. So hats off to you. But it's butts and seats. It's casual fan appreciation. I think all of that goes into superstar, which for me is why it's like Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Nikola Jokic knocking on that door potential. And then to me, it's like
Embiid's not a superstar?
Embiid's a superstar.
What are we doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, Jayson Tatum was first team All-NBA. He's the best player on the finals team. He scored 47 points against the Milwaukee Bucks on the road.
Thank you.
With their season on the line. I don't know what the rubric is for superstar. I need a spreadsheet for all your different categories. Jayson Tatum's a superstar. He's not knocking on the door. Knocking on the door? Then they're like, oh, please let me in. Jayson Tatum has the key to the door. He's a top 10 player in the NBA. He's a superstar. Done. They're in the finals, 1-1. What are we doing? What's happening here?
I'm with Zach.
Well, so here's my thing. The other thing about superstar, I'm not gonna get my.
Did you hear that, Jayson Tatum? Did you hear that?
But my other thing about it is it's the longevity. It's doing it over time, and so there are people who are superstars in moments, and then there are other players who have earned the moniker. I'm thinking of a Kevin Durant, for example, of superstar, kind of no matter what he does for the rest of his career. LeBron James, because of his play up until this point.
Nah, she's thinking of current players that are Hall of Famers, not current superstars. They're different.
Jayson Tatum could and will get there. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, like, it's a complicated. I will get to the
It's not that complicated.
Actually, in my notes before our ears perked up and we started talking about this was the inconsistency of Jayson Tatum. I don't think, though, that superstars somehow are not allowed, or burgeoning superstars, however you want to say it, aren't allowed to have inconsistent games.
So
they are. You just made their point.
We're talking about the Jays. By the way, I hate the nickname the Jays for them.
Really?
And like how they haven't scored 25 together in one game, and inconsistency.
Well, they actually did it in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Whatever it is, Janae. Okay. Can we just talk about what they've faced? The Bucks are the #1 defense in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
The Heat were the #4 defense in the regular season. The Warriors were the #2 defense in the regular season. Like, scoring 25 points in a game is hard. Being consistent against those teams is hard. Like, the defense, this is like the hardest basketball gets right now. That's why fewer and fewer players can get on the floor.
Right.
That's why I don't think he's inconsistent. I don't think he's inconsistent. He had an off night, and to say he's inconsistent implies that the other team wasn't responsible for that.
Right.
And great players, what they typically do is they see how they were affected. Did they shoot too much from the perimeter? Did they not attack too much? Did they get in foul trouble? What was my mentality? And so we've seen every single time he's had a subpar game for him, he has shown up because he has gotten better. So I think to say that he's inconsistent, you're not really watching the game, and you're taking away credit from the teams that have actually done a good job defending him one game out of seven, out of seven games before, 2 games here in this series. You're allowed that because just like a team can have an off night, you can figure it out and figure out how to be aggressive moving forward.
Well, and part of that is because in a 7-game series, there are so many adjustments that are made.
It almost sounded like she agreed with them at the end there. Malika's point was that superstardom is for the very few, but Richard Jefferson and Zach Lowe were right. Jayson Tatum is one of those few. It's not just the guys like LeBron or KD or Giannis. Those guys are all-time greats. Those are future Hall of Famers. Just because you're a future Hall of Famer doesn't mean you're a superstar, and vice versa. Even with Jayson Tatum's inconsistency, he is still a superstar. Like Zach Lowe said, he is first team All-NBA. He got his team to the finals, and a few bad games here or there does not change that. Just like when Steph was inconsistent in his first finals, no one ever questioned whether or not he was a superstar. They just questioned his place on the all-time great list or as a top current player. And even in Tatum's bad games, he still finds ways to contribute. He had 13 assists in Game 1, so even when he's not shooting well, he opens up the floor for other guys because they're so worried about what he will do and what he's capable of. It's the same thing with Steph, LeBron, and Giannis. But let me know in the comments, is Jayson Tatum a superstar? And that is all I have for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more NBA content just like this. And I will see you in the next upload.